Hey everybody, and welcome to your favorite show about classic cartoons from the 80s and 90s. It's Knowing is Half the Podcast.
Join Ray Stacanis.
Hi.
Robert Clark Chan.
Ugh.
And me, Gina Ippolito, as we explore the worst and the best, but mostly the worst that children's animation has to offer.
Now, I know what you're thinking, but why would I, a grown-ass adult, want to revisit my childhood during this time of strife and turmoil, when everything is literally on fire?
Hey, isn't this going to sound kind of dated and weird when the world actually calms down?
We're all gonna die.
We've got nearly 500 episodes covering everything from the awesomeness of the entire 80s Sunbow series G.I. Joe, to the weirdness of Cartoon All-Stars to the Rescue, to the weirdness of Hey Arnold, to the weirdness of Chuck Norris and the Karate Commando.
Okay, Gina, they get it.
They spelled commandos with a K.
Knowing is Half the Podcast. Find it on iTunes, Stitcher, or wherever you get your podcasts.
If it was in your butt, you'd know.
Is there a tagline?
This is RangerCast, episode 21, an interview with Andrew Bush, director of Metal Force. In this episode, we hear all about the heavy metal-influenced Tokusatsu Kickstarter project. Hey everyone, it's Tyler. Just checking in. Hope you're doing well. I know it's been a while since our last real episode. It'll be at least a couple weeks until our next real episode. But what we do have are a couple really cool interviews. This is the second one we recorded, but the first one putting up. It is with the director of a really cool Kickstarter project I hope you give a look to. I'm going to talk all about it in the actual intro when I throw to the interview. What else is going on? There was Hasbro PulseCon today, which is mostly stuff we already knew, which was the Master Morpher and the Omega Rangers Lightning Collection release. There was also a new clip of Cosmic Fury, which is coming out in a week as I record this. So we're really, really looking forward to that. The thing about the Master Morpher, the thing that we didn't know, because if you'll remember we were talking about it last time, the thing that we didn't know is that Hasbro is giving a cut of each Master Morpher purchase to a foundation dealing in mental health and suicide prevention. And we will be sure to link that and those details in the show notes. But unfortunately, as I record this, the Master Morpher is sold out. So sorry about that, but hopefully you can support that very important work. So anyway, I'm just gonna probably step aside and throw it to the interview. I also kind of wanted to plug before I go, Muryoku-Con is next weekend, September 29th to October 1st at the Baltimore Marriott Inner Harbor at Camden Yards. Find me, I'll be there. I'm running marketing. It's gonna be a good time. You know, there's Super Art Fight. There's a video game cover band, there's a rock band, there's a DJ, there's voice actors Armin Taylor and Kimberly Ann Campbell, so, you know, if you'll spare me that little indulgence. Anyway, it's enough of just me talking. Time for me and Andrew Bush, the director of the really cool Kickstarter project, Metal Force. And pass Tyler, take it away. All right, on the line is Andrew Bush. He is the director of Metal Force. Metal Force is a fan-made Tokusatsu project currently raising funds on Kickstarter. It's about a heavy metal band who gets abducted by aliens and granted superpowers. It's already doubled its funding goal of $2,000. Let's have a listen to some of their pitch reel.
What are you doing here?
Just minding my own business.
You shouldn't be here.
Who are you?
We need to know.
All right, Andrew, thanks so much for joining us. How's it going?
Thank you for having me. This is awesome.
Great. So give us a little elevator pitch about Metal Force. Did I kind of have it right?
You pretty much got it right. I mean, so you know how like pitches go, like for Jaws, for Alien they call it it's like Jaws on a spaceship, like the quick pitch like that. So mine's like what if Power Rangers and Stranger Things had a baby kind of thing. So it's neither of those things, but that sort of gets the idea across. It's an R-rated horror feature film, and there's a band in it. They're the lead characters, a heavy metal band, and they get abducted while they're on tour, and given alien suit technology, which is the ability to morph, and well, more on that later, I guess. I don't want to give away too much, but that's the overall thing about it. It's like, I mean, yeah, it's like, the fastest pitch I can think of is like kind of Stranger Things meets Power Rangers, kind of. And there's a horror movie called Green Room that's a lot less known than Power Rangers, so the pitch doesn't work as well. But Green Room also, because that's a punk band on tour that sort of gets abducted by neo-Nazis in it. That's also a pretty good reference for us if anybody knows Green Room out there.
So how did you come to be a part of the project?
During the pandemic, we were on lockdown, and I just thought, what would be my dream project, essentially. And I came up with the kind of core story points. Heavy metal band mixed with R-rated Power Rangers, and kind of go from there, And so it's like the credits will say in the movie, the story by me, but screenplay by Susie Clay Hartman. She's the screenwriter, so she is kind of going off of my initial, base story, and has written the script for it. And man, it's awesome. I can't, of course, I can't tell you anything too detailed, but I feel like we're onto something really good,
Mm-hmm. So what's your background? I understand that you lived in Japan for a while.
Yeah. So I lived in Japan for 3 years. So, okay, how far back do you want me to go? I'm from Alabama and Georgia. I'm 39. I saw Power Rangers day one. I remember seeing the trailers when I was like 8 or so for it to come out, and they, the legendary story is they tried to bury the show and have it canceled immediately by premiering on an August morning. And guess what? I was there that August morning. So literally kind of day one for the American side for me to watch it. And so, yeah, so then, I moved to Georgia in 1998 and so on and so on. And then I moved to Japan after college. So in 2000, after college, I graduated in 06 in like May of that year. And then I moved in August, September, maybe late August. Anyway, 06 to 09, I lived in Japan. And then I moved to LA, and I've been here ever since for 13 years. So that's the very quick story.
What sort of other projects have you worked on?
There's been a few. I did like documentaries, and I went to film school, and at that time I kind of felt like I wasn't ready in some way to do, narrative, regular movies. So I, for some reason, documentary style stuff, was easier to make for some reason for me. So that's what I did for a bit. I made like a little skateboarding documentary, and a skateboarding in Japan documentary. I made like some martial arts ones. I made one, actually the thing that's got me the most views ever online is one I made in LA and in Japan. That's on the religions of Japan, Shinto and Buddhism. That has like 90,000 views. I posted that and then didn't check it for years. And then I checked back in on it and I'm like, whoa, I just posted it and left. That was weird. But and then I made a Cape and Cowl, which was this documentary, this very quick, like 5-minute short that was like, mainly DC superheroes, and people that do the cosplay for these. It was like a documentary on cosplayers. That's been mainly it. I've made some, reels for the company I work at and stuff, but this has been kind of the big thing, the big dream project that I'm doing now,
Yeah, from the pitch reel, the one suit that you have looks very much influenced by Kamen Rider Black.
Okay, so that's changing. That artwork, that's a proof of concept video.
Right.
So that's going to change. That artwork is not final. And the suit will definitely change going forward. It will, like, from that video. So if you look at the latest poster, it'll be a lot more like that. The helmet is different and the suit is different. Yeah,
I can see that, definitely. So are you the only one on the team who's like, the Toku guy? Or is your writer as into this stuff as you are?
They are into Japanese stuff, and they're definitely into like all manner of nerdy stuff, but mainly American stuff. I've had to kind of tell them a little bit more about this world than they knew already. So, which has been fine. And I kind of wanted this to be a little bit of American sensibility meets Tokusatsu sensibility. Anyway, so that's they didn't know like a whole lot, but the script has turned out great anyway. So I don't think it mattered too much on that end. But Rich, the guy that's playing Hayden, he makes Sentai jackets. He has that company Sentai Jackets.
Okay, cool.
Sentai jackets. So he is very much in the know. And I don't think the other cast knows like a whole heck of a lot other than Rich and me. I haven't talked with them in detail about it, but I think they just kind of have like, they know what it is.
Yeah,
for sure. And they they're excited to be part of the project, but they don't know the ins and outs of it like Rich and I do.
Yeah. Now, I'm speaking of your actors, there's a bit of a thing going on. When this is funded, how soon will you be able to get in production, or is it, dependent on all of that?
That's still a little bit up in the air due to the strikes and stuff.
Right, exactly. That's the thing.
Yeah. So, and it's kind of sucks because, like, the actors can't promote the Kickstarter either. I didn't know it would last this long, so it's been hasn't been great on that end. And honestly, to answer the question, I'm not exactly sure. Mm-hmm. Sooner than later, I hope.
Yeah, obviously we hope that the writers and actors get a good deal as soon as possible, and not just a deal, a good deal.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, the actors too, it's going to take longer than the writers. Also, it seems like as of this recording, the writers might strike a deal pretty soon. So, but then SAG will have to wait a little bit after that.
Yeah. So you worry a bit that the strike has depressed enthusiasm or funding or like knowledge of the Kickstarter campaign a bit?
I think that as far as like, so I've been in LA for 13 years, most of the people I know in the industry, and I'm trying to reach out to get funding, but most of the people I know aren't working. So not many people can like contribute, due to financial hardship. And so that's been an issue. So I've had to kind of get creative and try to reach people outside of the, movie industry
Yeah.
And we'll see what happens. I mean, we went over our goal, which is nice, but we're going to need all the money we can to really make this full script happen.
Your Kickstarter page says the length of what you're able to do depends on funding, like $2,000 for 5 minutes of tone setting, $10,000 for a 10-minute webisode. Are you like sticking to that, or are you going to be seeking out, private financing or something like that?
Well, as far as I know, there's no laws against doing another crowdfunding thing too. There's one called Seed and Spark or something like that, and that's like specifically geared towards indie film. So we might run one of those too. But yeah, those are estimates, and we say that in the description, but
Right.
it's roundabout. That's what we'll get. We're just trying to not promise anything we can't deliver.
Yeah, that's fair. I
Yeah.
respect that, as opposed to, promising something with no intent to deliver.
Right.
And unfortunately, it's been the case with a few various crowdfunding efforts in this fandom, but I digress.
Uh-huh.
So how much of a script has Susie Clay Hartman written? Like, how much, if somebody were to say, I really like this, I'm going to give you guys 100,000, how much of a script is there right now?
Like how many pages?
Yeah.
It's 75. That's like the I believe the lowest amount you can go and still be a feature.
Yeah.
So, that's what we aimed for, and that's what we're getting. And that's, it'll be round about that. Script can change up to shooting and up to, during the shoot sometimes, these things happen. And kind of everything is kind of up in, can be up in the air, but, 75 pages is where we're at. And, could be 80. More than likely it'll be at least 75 though. Just so we have the 70. It's a page a minute. I don't know how much you know about film, but
Right.
it's a page a minute. So 75 minutes. And if we get just partial funding, then we might not film the beginning of it, and we might film somewhere in the middle. Wherever it's like kind of the really good 10-minute portion or something.
Yeah, I guess that's a challenge. Like, creatively, if you only have enough money for this length of time, you got to figure out how to tell something that won't leave people feeling ripped off at the end of it.
Yeah, I know. It's just really tough. It's a really tough thing, and with all the money involved, it's hard to it's like the hardest part, honestly. I feel like this is the hardest part of the whole process. The fundraising.
At least you guys are pledging to make good on it, because there have been people who've taken the money and run. I'm saying this because I totally lost my train of thought.
Yeah, so that's one thing I want to steer clear of, was like making a fan film. We have, this is essentially this is an original film. It's an original idea. It has Power Rangers influence, but it's not Power Rangers. You know what I mean? So that's been kind of good and bad, because I feel like fan films, I think, because of the recognition, they get funding really easily. But an original idea, it's a little bit tougher.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
So after the Kickstarter campaign ends, let's presume that the strikes are resolved soon. When can fans who back your project expect to see completed work?
If all goes well, we would probably start production like 2 to 3 months after being funded, but we'll have to see how that goes as far as the strike and various other factors.
So tell people, I did plug the website earlier, metalforce.ninja. Where else can they find information about the project?
Well, that's the main area. I mean, we're also on, so our Instagram is Super Metal Force, and our Twitter is Metal Force Movie.
Yep, that's how you reached out to me.
Yeah, and then we are on Facebook too, if anybody's on there. I mean, I guess people my age and older are on there, so that's cool. But yeah, if you search for Metal Force Kickstarter or something like that, I think maybe we're Super Metal Force on Facebook as well. So yeah, we have the fan page there. But yeah, the main one is the website, and of course, well, really the Kickstarter right now. But
all right, well, great. Thank you so much for taking the time out, and good luck. I'm sure people are going to love it when it comes out. All right, Andrew Bush, he's the director of Metal Force. Thank you so much for spending the time out to talk with us.
Thank you.
If you like what you just heard, find us at rangercast.net or look us up in your favorite podcast app. Reach out to us on Twitter or leave a voicemail on our website. The opening theme is by Daniel Park. The ending theme is by me. RangerCast is distributed under Creative Commons license. Attribute and share alike.